The wind of the prairie carried dust and silence when Anna stepped off the wagon, her dress worn, her shoes nearly torn apart from miles of searching for work. She clutched a small satchel, the last remnant of her old life, and looked at the vast ranch stretched out before her. She had written in response to an ad that asked for a cook and a hand willing to work hard. When she finally met the widowed rancher, Daniel Hayes, she bowed her head quickly and whispered, "I'll work, till my hands bleed if I must." He studied her carefully. Tall, rugged, and with a sadness carved into the lines of his face, Daniel was not a man easily moved by words. He had lost his wife years ago, and though his land was prosperous, his home was hollow. His little daughter, Clara, barely 6, wandered the halls with a doll in her arms, often whispering to it as if it were her mother. When Anna made her promise, Daniel's voice was steady, but his question cut deeper than she expected. "Can you be a mother?" Anna froze. She had expected hard labor, long nights at the stove, aching arms from hauling water. But she hadn't expected this man to ask of her something so personal, something she wasn't sure she could give. She had no children of her own, though she had dreamed of them once. Life had not been kind. Loss and hunger had replaced dreams with survival. She lowered her eyes and only said, "I can try." That evening, she cooked her first meal in the Hayes home, simple bread and stew, but what caught Daniel's attention was how gently she served Clara. The little girl, shy at first, hid behind her father's leg, peeking out with cautious eyes. Anna didn't press. She only set a small bowl before her and smiled softly. Clara finally came forward, whispering a timid, "Thank you," and Anna's heart ached with an unfamiliar warmth. Days turned into weeks, and Anna worked harder than anyone expected. She rose before dawn, mended clothes, scrubbed floors, gathered eggs, and even helped mend fences when extra hands were needed. True to her word, she worked until her hands blistered and bled, though Daniel secretly left salve for her on the table when he noticed. But it wasn't her labor that began to heal the hollow places of the ranch. It was the way she sang while kneading dough, the way she brushed Clara's hair with patient hands, and the way she listened when the child spoke of her mama in heaven. Slowly, Clara began reaching for Anna's hand, sitting in her lap during stories, even falling asleep against her chest by the fire. Each time, Anna felt the weight of Daniel's unspoken question pressing harder on her soul. Daniel watched all of this in silence, torn between gratitude and fear. He had buried love once. He wasn't sure he could open his heart again. Yet, when he saw Anna kneeling by Clara's bedside, smoothing the quilt and humming softly, something inside him shifted. He realized she wasn't just keeping her promise of labor, she was giving his daughter something he himself could not. One evening, while the sun dipped behind the hills and painted the sky gold, Daniel found her hanging laundry on the line, her sleeves rolled up, her hands red from work. He stepped closer and said quietly, "You've done more than enough. You've kept this home alive again." She looked at him, unsure of what to say, but he continued, voice low and earnest, "I asked you if you could be a mother. Clara already thinks you are." Tears stung Anna's eyes as the wind carried the scent of wildflowers across the fields. She had come here with nothing but desperation, ready to sacrifice her body for survival, but she had found something she hadn't dared to hope for, a family, a place to belong. Daniel reached for her work-worn hands, rough against rough, and for the first time since she arrived, she allowed herself to believe she was more than a servant. She was needed, she was wanted. In that moment, the ranch was no longer just land and work, it was a home. And as Clara's laughter echoed across the yard, Anna whispered the truest vow she had ever spoken, "I'll work with my hands, but I'll love with my heart. That's a promise I won't break."